real estate agents. Welcome to the Weekly Closer. I'm your host, Jeff Underwood, along with my co-host, Joey Sampaga. How are you doing today, Joey?
I'm doing pretty good, Jeff. And you?
I'm doing fantastic, man.
Awesome.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, awesome or oh, yeah? Which one are we doing?
Either one.
Either one. Okay. I get it. It is awesome. We're having a fantastic morning, and we've got a great guest with us in the house today, and that's Rebecca Durfey with West USA Realty. Welcome, Rebecca.
Thank
Rebecca.
you.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Good. Thanks for driving all the way over here.
You bet. No
to the
problem.
studio. Let's first get started, I guess. Oh, there's some, if you're watching the video, there's some wonderful looking flowers on here. I don't know what they are exactly besides yellow. I'm probably allergic, so if I start sneezing, no, I'm just teasing. Those were brought in by Rachel Turner with Security Title.
Yeah.
Absolutely. She's amazing, huh?
She is.
She's great. Why don't we let the agents know how long you've been in the business and what got you into real estate in the beginning?
Okay. I've been in the business about 18 years. Initially, I worked for a legal department, so contracts felt very comfortable to me. I have sisters who were real estate agents out of the state. They all encouraged me to maybe do that line of work because I had younger kids. I have a daughter who has Down syndrome, and so it was a way for me to be accessible to her, but also be able to create a career.
Yeah.
And so I started out, and I just thought maybe if I could do 5 deals a year, I would be good. 5 deals a year, and yeah, I think it's hard not to get 5 deals a year if you love this job and you love the people you work for. So it quickly went from there.
Good.
Yeah.
18 years ago.
18 years
18
ago.
years ago.
So I've seen
right
the
around
normal
2009.
market and
Yeah.
then the hard market, the crazy market, and now back to what we would consider more of a realistic market.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely been a wild ride over the
Yes.
last 18 years.
Yeah.
A lot of things completely off the charts during that time.
Yeah.
Up and down.
Crazy.
So, well, cool. Now, you're with West USA, and you work mostly the northwest?
Northwest, north, usually north of Cactus, across the north part of the valley.
All right. So what are you doing out there in that area to be successful right now in real estate?
Well, I think the 18 years helps.
Yeah.
But I try to create exposure wherever I can. Sometimes people think that these little marketing techniques don't work, where you've got, I put my face, unfortunately, all over the place. And it's just name recognition with face recognition. So,
Absolutely.
and then, of course, more than anything, I just absolutely love my clients.
Got it.
Yeah.
So what kind of things do you do to put your
Yeah.
face out all over the place?
Taking pictures?
Yeah.
Are we talking about billboards and park benches, or are we talking?
Yeah, I've got my big face on a movie screen
All
and
right. Wow.
the grocery store carts, which I know a lot of people, I did those years ago, never saw any result from that.
Yeah.
But I think in today's technology, it's different than it was maybe 15 years ago, because now I get text messages from people saying, with a photo saying, hey, look who I'm shopping with. So at that point, I don't think I knew that it had an impact. But now I see that it doesn't matter if it
Yeah.
doesn't bring me a buyer. It's just
It's just
exposure,
Branding.
making sure I'm in
Brand
their face
awareness
all the time.
All the time. That is interesting, though, because they do have,
Exactly.
a camera in their pocket.
We didn't
all the
have
time
any of
now.
that.
We didn't have that.
Yeah.
They had to essentially either memorize what it said or find a piece of paper and a pen and write it down, right?
Exactly.
But,
And I love having my pictures now in their camera, in their phone.
Yeah.
And it has my website and my phone number. So for me, it works.
that's a great idea. Now,
Thank
back
you.
then, before it was just like, But
And
now
it
it's
might
like,
have
wow.
worked back then, but we just didn't know. I
Yeah.
didn't know who was seeing it. Now I get these messages quite frequently.
I wonder if you could put some type of contest on it. Like if you
Yeah,
take
that's
a
what I was just
picture of
thinking.
me on this and you actually
an
says
interesting
on
idea.
the cart, right?
Yeah.
And say, if you send this to me, I'll give you a $10 gift card. I don't know if
That's a
that's
good idea.
allowed. Though.
Yeah, and our brokers all have to make sure that's okay, because I
Yeah.
don't think we can do contests.
Sure.
But there's I can give them a CMA. I can give it to everybody. As long as you give it to everybody, I think it's okay.
There you
So,
go.
There's
yeah.
got to be a way to do a contest.
I
isn't there?
think it's if you
Didn't we just
give
have an
them
attorney
all.
on not too long ago? We can reach out to
did.
her
We could.
and ask her, hey, what if I want to give a $10 gift card to
Yes.
the 25th person every single month that sends me the picture of my face on this card.
When you guys find out, let me know.
Or share it
Share
online,
it.
right?
Yes.
See, that's a good idea.
That is a good idea. How about the the movie theater thing?
Yeah.
Mm.
Total
So I
waste
looked at
of my
that-
money.
Oh,
Total
okay.
waste of my money.
Is it?
I
I was
don't
gonna
mean
s-
that in any disparaging way for the movie
Sure.
theater, but when I did it, it was just, the movie theater was just converting to prepaid seats.
Oh, yeah.
So now nobody goes early.
Nobody goes early.
That's
Yeah.
So
they
my
show up right at the end.
sign, it was like $11,000 or something. And I do every once in a while, somebody will send me a text and say, hey, look, but it's not like it would have been. If you can find a movie theater that doesn't pre-sell their seats,
Right.
it's a great idea.
Hmm.
But it's
Yeah,
not
because
as
they
effective.
usually get there 15 minutes earlier,
Exactly.
so and they see all those
Yeah.
commercials, right?
Yeah,
I hadn't thought about that.
yeah. Well, I didn't either, obviously.
Well, maybe you can do
Tell
a
us too late.
trailer where they show it for, the 30-minute previews that they show. You can be one of those.
And they
That would cost
they
more.
have all these rules. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to get seen very much.
So you might want to just rent out the theater for a night.
There
and
you go.
invite all your people.
Which that we could do before the time runs up. It's a good idea to rent it out.
Yes.
Hmm.
All right, then. Well, putting your face all over the place.
Yeah, it's a good time.
There we go. How about what are you seeing right now with regards to listings versus buyers? I mean, you working more buyer side or list side? What are
I
you-
tend to run just slightly more listings. I
Okay.
don't consider myself a buyer or a listing agent. I just consider myself your
An
real
agent.
estate agent. Yeah, and so I don't try to focus on one or the other, but I do tend to run a little bit higher on the listing side, probably 60-40. My
Got it.
assistant keeps track of all of that, Sherry, and so I don't keep
Yeah.
track of it as much, but
Yeah.
she does give me numbers every once in a while.
So are you seeing this year, I guess the first part of this year, have we seen, are you seeing in that area properties sitting a little bit longer?
Yeah. Yeah, properties are sitting a little bit longer. I think what we have forgotten as agents and even buyers and sellers is that, 15, 20 years ago, property, you had to work hard to get the buyer. You had to make sure you secured you had to get the right price, but then you had to take care of that seller. And I think we've gotten away from that. We're used to like home selling in 3 weeks or 2
Yeah,
weeks or 10 days. And
Sold in 2
it's-
days.
Yeah, and it's like you think something's wrong if the home's not sold, and it's just not that way. We're in a more even market. I think October through November to me was significantly slower than I had seen in previous years. I had a few really good buyers at that time, and that worked out well. But for my sellers, I noticed it was less showings and less offers.
Yeah.
I think in the last 3 weeks it's picked
Picked up.
up. Yeah. But and we do enough across the valley that I feel like I have a pretty good idea. And so I think it has gotten better. But yeah, it was a little bit of a slow market there.
Well, I think even looking at the Cromford report, I think that last half of the year, they were really talking about how this was unseasonable. People were like, "Oh, it's seasonal," but they're like, "Ooh, no, there's some things happening that are
If you
not
look at the charts,
seasonal."
it was less than normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything was dropping at a rate they weren't
And I think what's
expecting.
really picked up the last couple of weeks is obviously all the big news stories about how the interest rates
That
have
is why.
actually come down
Yeah.
again. So you've got a lot of people that were thinking, I'll just wait.
Yeah.
Now they're like, no.
In
I
fact,
think I'll-"
Cromford said that they don't track interest rate, but they can see the uptick when the interest rate is at 4.5. Somehow that's a break off in people's head, and then getting that assurances that we're not
Sure.
going to be looking at these increases. So we have seen an uptick. This is a good time to buy. It's a great time to sell and buy because we have those two components. I don't know what will happen in 6 months. I don't know what will happen in a year, but right now we don't want to lose that opportunity for buyers and sellers.
Yeah, what's going to happen when interest rates get back to normal?
Yeah.
Because I think
And
if you
what's
look at the
normal?
last 40 years,
Yeah.
I think 7.25 is kind of normal.
I would think.
But we're spoiled now at
Oh.
3.5 to 4.5.
How long has it been that low?
Almost 10 years.
So that should be, that's almost considered normal then.
Well, in people's heads. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but
because
it's-
you got a totally new generation.
But those low interest rates are not good for the economy
Yeah.
on a long-term basis.
And my first house was 13%.
Yeah.
So for me, and then 9, and then 7.5, I thought was awesome.
Yeah.
That is a good rate. You can actually, but the problem is our home prices are higher, and so we need those lower rates in order to
afford that,
purchase the home.
Which is what happened
Exactly.
the last time too.
Yeah.
They had to lower interest rates to spur on the economy,
Yeah.
and what did it do? It caused people to buy houses.
Yeah.
Anyway, we could talk economics all day long, but all right. So, what about you mentioned before we got on here about the iBuyers, and I know Cromford talked a little bit about that. You said at an event that you went to, but what are your thoughts there? I mean, what are you thinking that for the consumer, but also for real estate agents?
I think we have to respect the fact that the iBuyer is going to work for some sellers. It just is. There are sellers who need the assurance. They maybe they can't show their homes during the day. Maybe they have 5 dogs. Whatever their reason is, we need to respect the fact that sometimes that's not a bad option. But we also need to remember that an iBuyer is an investor. That's all they are. They have a different model maybe than some of those investors, but they are coming in, buying low, and flipping the house. No different than an investor. They just have so much of the market share that it makes people nervous. And I don't think we should be nervous. There is nothing that an iBuyer can do that is going to give emotional support or education in the same way as we as agents can. We as agents can have empathy. We can do a lot for our client that an iBuyer cannot do, and we can get them a higher price for their home. So set aside just the touchy-feely stuff, but from just purely the investment and the equity in their home, we can get them a better price.
Right.
So on most, I'm not going to say every home, because there are some homes that back, busy roads and have power lines running through them, and they're harder sells.
Yeah.
And the iBuyer might be the right person for that.
Or need some little maintenance inside, right?
Absolutely. And we're going to have to do better with that anyway. Sellers are going to have to recognize it's not the same market. Your home is going to have some care and it's going to have to show better because you're competing against more sellers.
And the buyers are sure going to ask for it, aren't they?
They are asking for a lot more. They've started to feel like, the prices are too high. Interest rate's good, but the prices are too high. I want more for my money. And so buyers, rather than back out of the market, in order to keep them engaged in the market, we want them to get more for their money.
Absolutely. Yep. Totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree. So what's on your agenda for this year? I mean, where do you see your business going? And do you have certain numbers that you're shooting for, or?
I try not to be too much about the numbers. 'Cause I always want to be about the people. But so I kind of just put my head down and I do whatever I can for who I'm working with.
Yeah.
But I always want it to get better, because that to me is a reflection of doing a good job. If I have more referrals, if I have more opportunities, that would be a result of making people happy.
Right.
So and again, Sherry kind of keeps those numbers, but if we're anywhere between the 25 to 35 million, then I feel like we're in the right ballpark, but we always want to go up from there.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Yeah. And I don't have a team. I like to do this. I like to do it myself. I have Sherry, who is a full-time licensed assistant, and then me, and then our affiliates.
All right. What about so instead of a volume type thing, then what about where do the referrals come from right now? Like, where are you? Is it mostly from database? Are you doing some online stuff? Is it?
I do. I do ads on the social medias and stuff. Again, that is more for recognition than it is ROI. I'm not expecting anything from that.
Yeah.
Almost all of my business is referral. I do get some out-of-state agents who send me business, but it's mostly referral-based within my database.
Got it. And how are you staying in touch with your database?
We social media helps with that. We send letters. We'll do handwritten notes.
There you go.
Yeah.
Joey's a handwritten note guy.
Yeah. I think it's important that they hear from us. I do the newsletters, I do cards, I do all that normal stuff, but I also... something that Sherry and I are developing is bringing them a card for a restaurant and just saying, hey, dinner's on us tonight. So
nice.
just little things to remind them that we care about them. As I was coming over here, I have a client that's a plumber. I saw one of his trucks, and I sent him a quick text and said, "Hey, I saw one of your trucks." Just anything that
he was speeding.
Yeah, I said I tried to see if he went rogue or not. But anything that can keep us engaged with our clients, we look for those opportunities.
I'm curious about your. When did you get an assistant, and would you recommend that to other agents?
I couldn't do it without her. I mean, I handpicked Sherry. I think that's important. I didn't just pick an agent. Sherry didn't even have a license. She had been in the mortgage industry as assisting in mortgage and in architect, and she's a doer. And I just really needed a doer.
Was she the first one that you
No,
picked? Okay.
I've had other assistants who were with me for 3 or 4 years, and then they went on to other things. So she's been with me for, I think it's about 4 years.
4 years, and she's the one.
So I mean, I wouldn't want to give her up. That's for sure. Yeah, she does a great deal for me, and it's critical at a certain point when you feel you can't take care of everybody.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to ask is, so you don't get an assistant until you get to that point when you're just like super busy and you're like, okay, I just need to find someone.
And for some people that might not be super busy, we're really, we're about efficiency, making sure everything is streamlined. I'm a workaholic. I'm up early. I'm down late. I mean, I love my family, my job, my faith. That's all the most important things to me. But for me, if I feel like I can't get the administrative done, and that was what was bogging me down.
Yeah.
I brought Sherry on. And I think that was probably 17, 20 million a year, somewhere in there, where it just was like, that's enough. I need to have someone else here.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. How about what tips would you give any agents that are watching and listening right now, just in today's marketplace, or let's say if they're new, because I know a lot of new agents, I mean, still coming out of that school.
Yes, they are.
Like, what's one tip you think that they need to?
There's a couple. Somebody gave me advice to make sure you put your taxes away. That can destroy an agent.
I don't know how many of them listen to that.
Yeah, it can destroy. And I didn't have a clue, but that was one thing that they said is, put taxes aside from the very beginning. Simple thing, but so many get in trouble.
Did you do that?
I did, right from the very beginning. Yeah. And
to
West
the tune
USA,
of like 40%.
Yeah, West USA had
aside.
an accountant that they worked with. It would come out before I'd even see the check. So
Smart.
it was really great.
Okay.
So that's a simple thing, but the most important thing I would say is make sure that client comes first. Can I tell you a quick story?
No. Yes.
I was talking to one of my clients, and he said to me, "You know what I love about you, Rebecca, which there's not that much, but this was nice." He said, you don't care about the house, or you care about us. You care about what we're buying. And he said when he first went out, he had moved to Arizona and first went out with an agent, and they were looking at 3 properties. And he was in the car with the agent, and he looked down, and he saw a Post-it note. And on the Post-it note had the price of each of the homes and then the commission that went with each of those homes.
Wow.
And he said, I don't know if he knew that I saw that, but he said, I've never forgotten it. It made me feel like I don't matter. Your money matters. And I just felt like that is the last thing that matters to me. It's 100% the client. The client has to be our first priority.
So who is that agent? That way everybody
Fortunately, he didn't tell me, so. No, but it's important.
Yeah.
You cannot forget why you're doing this and who you're doing it for and how important it is to them. The most I learned was as a seller and a buyer. I mean, I learned more about real estate being a buyer and a seller than I did when I was an agent.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, it's different when it's you, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because we listed our house, and I was the agent, of course,
Yeah.
and things are coming in, and I was not doing what I would tell my clients to do.
I hear you. Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I need to just shut my brain off and
We
listen
are
to myself.
sometimes our worst client.
Exactly.
Yes.
Any other things you want to share before we move to the next segment that you think agents need to hear? Or?
I think also.
Because I know you had some things. Right
Yeah,
there,
and I think one of the things we were talking about was that iBuyer.
Yes.
I think that if we can give the seller or the buyer what they're looking for that the iBuyer gives them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, assurances and efficiency and those things that are so important. But then add the other elements. I really do think the iBuyer is not going away. I really don't think that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm hoping they're not their first call. If they are the first call, I want to make that call first and get that price that the iBuyer is going to offer, and make that a part of my listing package,
right?
So that they can see the difference of what I can bring them versus your iBuyer. Yeah,
makes sense.
All right, are you ready to get in the ring?
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna do it.
Here we go. What's the best advice that anyone's ever given you?
Probably to remember what it was like to be a buyer and a seller.
Yes.
All right.
Good one.
How about a favorite mobile app?
I'm a Marco Polo gal.
Oh, I like Marco Polo.
Yes, I love it. Yeah,
Yeah.
got a son out of the state with his wife and my grandbaby, and that's what I
awesome.
live on.
All righty. How about a book recommendation?
I like Shift, the book
Okay,
Shift.
yep.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Gary Keller?
Gary Keller.
Okay. How about a productivity tool or software that you use on a regular basis?
My CRM is Wise Agent. That's who I've chosen to use. We probably don't utilize it nearly as much as we should or how we should, but that is something
They've
we
done
are
a
doing
lot
a
of updates
one-on-one
for that,
with
yeah.
them, and we're going to figure that out. So
Cool. Yeah, they've made some major changes.
it's been a great program for us. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. We know personally the he's the CMO now.
Yeah.
Chief Marketing Officer over there now. So
I think they're
he's-
local. I think.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, that's awesome too.
Now he's not, but
but the company
is.
Yeah.
All right. So you ready for the last question? I'll have
Yes.
you draw it out of the mask here.
Sure.
There you go.
So this is a question I answer.
Beautiful.
Yes.
What is that,
Okay.
velvet?
If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go and why?
Oh, there we go.
My dream was to go to France, and I did go there this last year. So now my husband's bucket list, the thing he wants most in the world, is to see the Masters. And so we are going
okay.
there
Going to
to
Augusta.
Augusta, Georgia in April.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Well, you're awful kind because
it's
the whole world, you know.
yeah.
You pick
it's-
Augusta, Georgia.
Well,
Oh.
for him
You're
because
gonna see
of
a lot
him.
you're going to see a lot of these things.
Yeah.
A lot of flowers. And stuff. So,
Yes, I'd go anywhere.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've always wanted to check out that place.
Yeah?
I mean, it looks like an awesome.
You wouldn't
tournament to hang
go
out at.
for another reason, so it's kind of cool that
Yeah,
the tournament's
I mean,
there.
just the way that how
Yeah.
manicured the course is and everything
Yeah.
is crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you guys been to Pebble Beach?
We've seen it. We haven't
Okay.
been. I guess there's a hole that we were able to look at from some location.
Restaurant?
Yeah, exactly.
Club 19.
Is that what it's called?
Yes, I used to live there, and my brother worked at Club 19, so
really?
he was able to go golfing over there like for really cheap.
Oh, lucky. Yeah.
He tore it up out there.
No, not really, but
No, man, he put divots all over the place.
Oh, yeah, that
tore
he
it up.
did.
Tore it up.
literally.
Oh, that's funny. Rebecca, thanks so much for being on.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Thanks
great
for having
show.
me. I appreciate
shared
it.
some great information for people, agents. So, take these words of wisdom here and put them in your business.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Until next time, we will see you later. Adios.
Adios.
There you go.
Great.